Right, draft busting itself. The solution for sash windows and for doors. There are three kinds of strip that transition can get for you. This strip has a slightly longer flange. They all work on the same principle, which is you have a kind of long-lasting spongy bit of material that pushes up against the moving part. It springs in and out, fills the gap. It allows you to open and shut a window. It allows you to open and shut a door. The three kinds of draft-proofing material strip that we provide or can get for you, one like that for the front door. This slightly smaller one, which also works for the windows, has a smaller flange on it. You can use that on the front door. It's not as efficient.
So ideally you have something, the width, the thickness of the door. The width is the same as the thickness of the door?
Not really, no, because this goes on the frame.
Right.
So it just has to be smaller than the frame so that it doesn't protrude.
Right.
But your door shuts up against it, as opposed to this going on your door, moving with it.
How does it fix on?
You nail it through the holes.
Okay.
So you nail into the frame outside it. It comes in white or brown. If you have a white door frame, that's great. If you have a green door frame, you just have to live with the fact that you've got this white thing on it.
And you can buy that stuff from most DIY, like Travis Perkins.
This is called Qlon. The transition movement generally, and an outfit called Hyde Farm, who specialise in this kind of work, have identified this as the best one on the market.
How do you spell Qlon?
It's a Q, and then it's L-O-N. The idea is that you can buy the strip through transition. So at the end of today, if you give Tom your email address, what he'll do is he can email you an order form.
Well, and through transition you buy cheaper than...
You buy it at cost price. Yeah. So the one with the big flange and the big squashy bit, you use for doors. There is this one, which I don't like, but having said that, it's for this section here. If you look at it in front,
These still all the time, don't they?
if you look at it in profile, this is slightly lower. You nail that onto this section of the window, and that drops down onto the other window. Because this moves up and down,
You put it on the one that moves
you
up.
move it on we put it on the bottom one, and it leans over and touches the other frame. So the draft comes up in there, can't get around that.
You put it on the bit that doesn't...
You put it on the bottom window,
on the bottom.
which is the one that moves up.
Why don't you like it?
I don't like it because it offends my sense of aesthetics, but also of completeness, because you always have to break it for the damn window furniture. Now it's a quirk of mine that if I'm doing something horizontal, I want it to run all the way across.
So sorry, when you put it, it's actually where you show
You
it.
put it here,
Yeah, so you see this
and
kind of thing.
you see
Yeah,
that little bit, and you measure it so that it runs from there across to
Yeah,
here,
and
and then you pick up again here to there. The other solution for that, slightly more labour intensive, the same as the bottom of a front door, a sock, which goes on in the winter and comes off in the
I
summer.
like that.
Or newspaper. But David, can't you take the window furniture off, run it underneath and replace it?
No.
on top? Can't you?
No, because the window furniture will then lock it in place and you can't open it. If you get up here and have a look, you have a fitting on this bit and a fitting on that bit.
You couldn't fit it in on the top
In
panel from the other side.
principle, you
Upside
can go
down.
there
Yeah.
and put it on that one. On this window it would work, on this window it
you would have to
wouldn't.
take the
A
sash
lot
out.
of these houses have window handles like that one.
And David, I'm looking at these windows. Elaine, I'm surprised that you don't have the safety bolts on any of the sides. You can see the holes
Yeah.
for them there. But in our house, for example,
That's one.
we would have the safety bolts in the corners.
What do you mean,
And that-
window locks?
The window locks,
I
yeah.
just take them all off.
Oh, you've just taken them all off? Okay, okay. But if you have those in place, then, just a question, do you still need the bit in the middle that...
Oh, can you dispense with this?
Can you just dispense with that?
Quite possibly. Quite possibly. I mean, the principle for all of this draft excluding work is that if you cover half the window, you've dealt with half the draughts. It doesn't go out the other bit faster. It's like having 2 holes in a bucket compared with 1 hole.
Tom, what they do,
So
they stop the top dropping down. Those fixtures, the original
Brass
fixtures,
fittings.
they hold the top piece up.
Yes.
They stop the top one dropping down a little bit.
Oh, is that for security? Really?
In our house, that's not a problem.
It's okay.
It doesn't fall down on its own.
And so that's the second piece. You do doors with the big curve. You do that section with this one.
Does that have another special name, that one?
It's all called Kulon. Kulon is the brand name.
Right.
And they on the order strip that we'll give you, it'll say
Or
horizontal sash.
sash.
It'll say window.
Yeah.
It'll say door.
And is this the same stuff you've been using all along? I think it's a
Yeah.
German manufacturer
It
called
is, yeah.
Schlegel.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I presume you buy bars of 2 meters or whatever.
It comes in. Annoyingly, it comes 2.1 meters, which is not enough for the front doors that we have here. It's rather stupid that you can't put one panel on the side of the.
Okay, so you have to cut
So
it all.
yeah, I mean it's short by about that much.
Cool.
At home, I
Brilliant.
haven't bothered tacking on a bit that big at the bottom because
That's kind of ridiculous.
it is kind of ridiculous. But so you know,
Because of the
perhaps
machine.
it's a modern material that is used
Oh, it's a
for
machine.
modern
Yeah.
flats that they don't. You know, if you go into a front door in a purpose-built flat in Germany, perhaps it isn't 2.2 meters.
No, it
tall.
is because everybody is 2.2 meters there anyway. So.
The window.
All the guys are.
This is the window one. The window one goes on like this.
Where does that go?
That's again, it goes on
On the frame.
the frame against the moving part of the window. So the window moves like this, and
You see it.
you see it. It pins in just like that. And the way that you put it on, and I'll do one window so that you can watch, and anybody who wants to have a tap with a hammer is very welcome to come and try. You basically push it up so that it's just slightly tensed against it.
Can you paint it?
Can you paint it? Yes, you can. You can't. This will flake. This won't.
So that floppy bit goes against the window.
Pass it around.
Yeah.
In fact, pass that around. It's smaller and easier.
Okay.
So you nail on the plastic housing and the flange.
And so that's
Goes
better
against
than
the
the
window.
one you glue on. You know, you
It's
can buy a
better
roll
than
on
the spongy.
roll on stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
That stuff always comes
Yeah.
So when you're doing the front door, do you put anything along the top?
Yes, you do. I'll show you the front door. We can. What I'm hoping to do in the next half an hour is this bottom window here, so you see how it works. And we don't actually need to put it on the front door because Elaine has got a rather nice old-fashioned brass section, but we can do the back door for sure. When you're putting
in exactly see, can you do it again?
Say all day.
Can you just show me another time?
the way that you put it
Or
on,
is it the one that's like that?
I'll have to go and get some longer pieces to do this one. But when you're deciding how much strip you need, basically you need to measure this area of every window and the equivalent on the outside. To do the tops, you have to go outside and pin it on the equivalent bit of the frame against the moving part. So the lower half you do inside, the upper half you do outside.
I
This-
presume that's all written on the website, no?
Yeah. Now, anyone who's interested can get, there's something, Hyde Farm, who are the people who started these workshops and sourced the material, have got a document that will tell you everything and more that I'm telling you now, and there's a little section on magnet
They've got their own
glaze.
website.
We can post you the PDF, so email you the PDF.
Hyde
So-
Farm Workshop.
Hyde Farm CAN it's called, and CAN is capital letter CAN, which stands for something I don't know. Tools of the trade. This is cuts quite well with a hacksaw. A much better way is a pair of, they're called anvil pruners. They'll cost you about £8. These cost £8 on Amazon.
How do you spell that?
Anvil as in
Pruners bit.
hammer and the anvil.
Yeah, no, I've got that bit. It's the next bit.
P-R-U-N-E.
Pruners. Sorry, I didn't hear you properly.
Okay.
I thought you said pruners.
If you feel technically up to it, you can mitre the corners. I tend not to. It's actually it's easier to have it square edged because you can drop. You have that on one end and that bit just drops on top. The way that you do it is that you measure the distance on the bottom window. Can I just put this back here, Elaine? Is that all right? Is that going to hold it? No, it's not.
Or tighten the knot or something.
You need an assistant.
I do need an assistant.
An assistant.
Could I have an assistant, please?
I've seen Mary tight back.
No, she's not done with
that. On the bottom windows, it's quite straightforward because you can overshoot to see how long it has to be. A bit of that. So you pop it in. You mark the point. You clip it. It's quite likely to be too long.
Is that
Incredibly simple.
secateurs?
Anvil ones. Because what they do is they cut against a flat surface. If you use normal ones, it'll try and bend.
Like a crimper.
Yeah. Slightly too long, usually is. That's the advantage of the secateurs, you can cut off a tiny amount. So.
Can you use them for pruning?
You can, yes.
I don't understand them.
Pin hammer. That's different from a claw hammer. This is slightly better for this job.
Why it's not as big, so you don't smash the window frame.
Yeah, so it's more delicate. They have pre-drilled holes. You put the nail in the hole.
What kind of nail?
Push fit. They come with stainless steel pins. They're an inch long, but when you buy the strip, you'll get the nail with it. And then you just slightly tense it up against the window so that it has a tiny bend in it.
Skirt sort of lifted up, hasn't it?
And hammer it into place.
Technically, you're not supposed to hammer your finger first to start.
I did, just in case. But I didn't say ouch, because I thought it would be embarrassing. Yeah.
No, that's important where the difference there, David, between when it's away and now you're pushing it up.
Yeah, you push it up so that if people would like to come
Yeah,
closer
it's
so that you
important
can
to
actually
see
see what
that.
I'm talking about. And this end section here gives you the example.
Just go down here.
That's slightly pushed in, so there's a tiny fold there. Here, if you can see, it's against. So as you're putting it in, you push it up to the window, and then you just give it a little extra push so that it tenses against it. The whole point of the flange is that it fills the gap that the air is coming through. There you go.
Right, okay, so you just
So you put it in the guide hole.
Yeah. Oh, it goes down quite fast.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Sword.
You make sure that it's got a bit of tension on it, which it does. There's a
They're weighted, all the cheap ones are circular. More balanced, more efficient.
Take the weight away there, so you have
I guess so, but it's...
One more time.
Not
quite in. It's not quite in.
So I've been trying
I've got one there.
Yeah, me too.
There we go.
David, where did you get hold of these?
It's nice because it goes in
S
quite a
ring.
long way and it
Very
holds it.
classy.
the edges to be as close to the edge as possible. They're pre-drilled holes, so you don't have to worry about where they are. They're close enough to do the job. They've designed it that way. And just tap it in. The side piece, I won't nail it on because it's too short. The side piece then sits on top of the bottom, so that the back edge of it is exactly the same place as the back edge of the one that you put on the bottom. Start with the bottom because it's the easiest. You'd put your side piece up here. It's almost long enough, not quite, annoyingly short. And you do the same. You start at the bottom, pin it, and then you go up, pinning as you go up. For the cameras, ladies and gentlemen, this flange here is doing the job of catching the draft. For that reason, it's pressed against the frame of the window. When you shut the window, it fills the gap between the two.
That's great.
Doors and windows are the two things that you're going to be doing.
Everyone would agree it's been a very interesting morning, and certainly on my part I've learnt a huge amount, so I wanted to thank you all again for coming. Very much to thank David for his talk and demonstration, and I think it was very clear and it seemed so easy. But maybe we need to get you around to help more.
20 years as a joiner, it's very easy.
David, thanks a lot. What we'll do, everyone, so I think I have everyone's email addresses, and I will send, and Eric, yes, I've got yours. Yeah. So I'll send a little follow-up with, you know, the key information and the links for people who don't have them. But I think we have a wonderful group here, actually, because all the knowledge amongst the group is fantastic, and I think that's also something about transition towns philosophy, which is there's so much that can be done as when you come together in the community. So when we've all sorted our own places out and got everything nicely insulated, then maybe we can go on and help others as well and take it forward in that way. But thank you very much, David. And